It was a bright and busy morning at Enchantia Castle. Princess Sofia rushed through the halls, her arms full of scrolls, invitations, and magical creature care instructions. Meanwhile, Princess Amber was in the royal parlor, having her hair styled while choosing fabrics for the royal banquet gowns. Despite being sisters, Sofia and Amber couldn't be more different in their daily royal tasks. Sofia preferred helping others, solving problems, and learning about the magical world. Amber loved perfection, elegance, and shining in royal events. But both were tired. "I wish you understood how hard my schedule is," Sofia sighed during breakfast. Amber raised an eyebrow. "Oh, please, I manage fashion, formality, and flawless etiquette every day." King Roland overheard and chuckled. "Maybe you two should try each other's shoes, or crowns." That's when Clover the rabbit scampered in. "Sofia, that spellbook you left open last night, it's glowing." The sisters rushed to the royal library, where an old enchanted spellbook flickered with golden light. A spell titled Crown Exchange shimmered on the page. Amber leaned over. "You don't think—" Before Sofia could reply, the book zapped both of them with a soft pop of light. A golden glow encircled their crown sand in a flash. The sisters found themselves in each other's outfits. "What just happened?" Amber gasped, looking at the scrolls in her hands. Sofia glanced down. "I'm wearing your dress, and your appointment list." "Uh-oh," Clover muttered. "Looks like you swapped royal roles for a day." Amber had barely taken 2 steps in Sofia's sturdy shoes before chaos hit. First, she visited the Royal Animal Care Wing. "Hello, dear creatures," she said with a forced smile. Bailiwick handed her a list. "Feed the griffin, groom the gnome's fox, and deliver acorn tea to the squirrel council." Amber blinked. "Pardon?" Minutes later, she was covered in griffin feathers, her braid tangled by a mischievous gnome pup, and chased halfway down the garden by a squirrel who didn't like lukewarm tea. Next came her magical studies class. Professor Popov asked her to mix a truth potion. Amber confidently stirred the ingredients until the cauldron exploded in a puff of blue smoke. "I don't know how Sofia does this," she huffed, sneezing glitter. Meanwhile, Sofia walked through Amber's schedule, head held high until she met Lady Cleo, Princess Hildegard, and Prince Xandar for etiquette practice. She tried to glide through the curtsy lesson, but tripped on Amber's heels and landed in a decorative vase. The entire room gasped. At the fashion fitting, she confused chiffon with velvet and chose boots instead of glass slippers for the banquet look. "Amber would never pick those," Cleo whispered. Sofia sighed. "I miss talking to squirrels and brewing magical tea." But she carried on. She even smiled through a 3-hour lesson on royal fan language. That evening, the sisters met in the garden, exhausted and messy. Amber still had squirrel fur in her hair, and Sofia's royal gown had potion stains. They sat on the fountain edge and looked at each other, laughing. "I had no idea your days were that hectic," Amber said. "Same here," Sofia replied. "I thought posing for portraits and organizing dances was easy, but it's takes real skill." Amber nodded. "You do so much more than I realized. Magic, kindness, and problem solving? That's powerful." They both smiled. Suddenly, the spellbook appeared again, flipping open to the glowing spell. "This must be the way to switch back," Sofia said. Amber placed her hand over hers. "Wait, before we do, thank you for all you do for the kingdom and for me." "Same to you," Sofia whispered. Together they read the reversal spell. "By crown and heart, now let us be ourselves again, but changed by thee." A soft golden light swirled, and they were back in their original outfits, crowns included. The next morning, Sofia brought Amber a tray of morning tea. "I picked your favorite blend." Amber giggled. And I brought you a magical feather charm from my royal event. I thought it might help your creature friends. They'd return to their normal roles but with new respect. That afternoon, Sofia joined Amber in a dance rehearsal, and Amber helped Sofia clean the fairy library. King Roland smiled proudly as he watched his daughters. "Sometimes," he said, "the best way to grow is to walk a day in someone else's crown." And from that day on, the princesses never underestimated each other's strength again. The end.